Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 Build a Nation story from Bangor City with me, Daniel. We're back for a brand new season, our 14th year in charge today, and it is part 126 with a big Champions League moment. We're in a second qualifying round, we faced a difficult draw against Greek opposition, and we're not yet over the line. We dominated the first leg at home but only got a 1-0 lead to show for it, so today it could all go very wrong. We'll be seeing if we can avoid a banana skin here. We've also got plenty of transfer action as well, both from here and from throughout the nation too. And we'll take a look at how the other Welsh sides are getting on in Europa Conference qualifying. So if you're looking forward to all of that and you are still enjoying the series, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 videos from 2 long-term stories. You can find the links to some of the playlists and the Twitch channel up in the eye above. Please do give us a follow over there if you haven't already. We'll be doing regular watch-alongs throughout August and onwards and just hanging out and talking about football, most of our favourite things to do. So hopefully we're going to enjoy that, but for now the main focus is on Bangor City, and we'll start by having a look at what's happened over the summer in a transfer window for Bangor City. We'll have a look at the Welsh one afterwards, but let's have a look at our club. Loads of offers coming in for players, absolutely tons of them. Lots of the players becoming unhappy as well. We were worried about the record fee for Bektas, and look, we've been offered a deal that would be a £2.5 million profit. It's ridiculous, really, the scale we've got to. In terms of ins, there's no one on the cards at the moment, but that doesn't mean we haven't done anything. A relatively calm window, a relatively quiet one, but certainly a pretty important one too. Let's go and have a look at the history, and let's start with the released players. Now, the reason this has become more important is because our youngsters are now ready to compete for other Welsh sides. Cian Burgess has gone to TNS on a permanent deal. Jason Williams, for example, Aberystwyth on a permanent deal. Bryn Locke rejected the Welsh sides to go to Chester. That one was a slight disappointment. But most of the others, bar Stefan Orlik, have gone for Welsh teams, and that's going to be a good thing moving forward. Carl Lacey, not really got a move to anyone yet. He's the one who was always funny about going out on loan. I'm not sure what caused it for him. But as a result, he's not gone anywhere. But that's going to be more important as we go through the years in terms of supporting the other Welsh sides. In terms of all transfers though, let's firstly go back to the end of last season. So no ins and outs early on in the window, something we're often quite famous for. We've had to be patient. The only deal that went through before the end of June was the extension of Ruben Reyes' loan deal, an official wonder kid alongside McKinnon now. We've got both of them here this year in addition to Kai McDonald. If we have a look at this season so far though, loads of players going out on loan, including 1 or 2 big surprises and 1 relatively big sale too. We've managed to bring a few in, we'll talk through them in a moment, because there are some very deliberately clever signings on that side of things. But let's start with the outs. Of course, most of them you won't recognise, they've been sat in our youth team, but there are a couple that will spring to mind. So Sam Martin quite often came off the bench as our under-19 last season. He's gone to Barrytown United on a 1-year loan deal, and we hope he'll be able to do well there. Had a bit of an injury in the second half of the year, which held him back slightly. Guto Ashworth, another one that's gone to Barry, looks a really good young player too. Probably the next in a line of right-backs we seem to produce every other year. There's 2 big deals here though that stand out significantly. The first one is Daniel Anderson. Our 4th choice centre midfielder. We highlighted it as one of the weak spots in our backup team. And then when we got an offer for 800 grand from Nottingham Forest, I think it would be fair to say we didn't see an option where we could turn it down. He's not versatile, he's not particularly good, he's now 27 years of age, he's not young either. Has got 1 cap for Northern Ireland, but he was never going to progress anymore. So at 27, to get big money for him from Nottingham Forest, it seemed like an absolute no-brainer as a deal. He'll still be remembered fondly, 49 league appearances, plenty more in other competitions. But he was the weak link in the backup team. And to sell him on and get good money for him, we can't turn that down. The other one, which I've taken a bit of a calculated gamble on, is Kresimir Loza. So he's been throwing his toys out the pram throughout the last year. And due to a couple of things we didn't expect, we've ended up being able to bring 2 strikers in. So Loza, we got an offer from Brentford out of the blue for, to pay 100% of his wages and a bit of a loan fee. We've worked that up now to £33,000 a month, which means that 325 grand is coming in a year just from having Loza sent out on loan. Now, my other thought is, he's 22, he's a backup striker for us, albeit he was Golden Boot winner in the Premier League last year. If he can go and get a season of football in the Championship in England, he'll probably improve quite significantly and get his Croatia cap. So there is a little bit of risk and reward here. If we can get him out for the year and he does well, I think he'll come back worth far more than we let him go for, and probably a better player too. So I'm banking on that, and we'll see what happens. But Kresimir Loza will spend the year at Brentford. What that means with those two gone in particular is that we needed some more ins, and we've got 3 absolute humdingers. Now, I say they were quite deliberate signings because there were a couple of particular factors that drew me to 2 of these players. The only one that there wasn't a situation like that was Lloyd Golding, the first one. Basically, Rosario rejected a deal with us. He went to Sporting Lisbon after his loan expired. We needed a 4th striker. Lloyd Golding came up. Seemed like the perfect man. £1.5 million from Crystal Palace. 2.5-star ability, 3-star potential. Now, a bit like when Kane Walters joined a few years ago, I actually think he's slightly better than he's rated. He's not on a massive wage. He's a very good finisher. He's incredibly composed. I mean, his key attributes are sublime. He's not got a huge amount else to his game, but he does like to place his shots round the keeper. He does all of the things we like. He's got the traits, he's got the attributes, he's got the stats. He has always had a good goal scoring rate wherever he's been. 1 in 2 for Ipswich, 1 in 2 for Palace, and almost 1 in 1 for New York City. The only opportunity he hasn't had is to play regular football. So in the league, he's going to get that in the first half of the season at least, and we'll be hoping he comes good. Not the hardest worker, probably not the best team player either. But in terms of an out-and-out striker who scores goals, I don't think we've got anyone that's probably better than him, and I'll be looking forward to seeing how he does. So Lloyd Golding was the first one in. The other 2, we were drawn to certain attributes. So the first of those, which meant Loza could go out on loan, was Jack Vale. Now, we've brought him in despite him not being at all like one of our signings. Not something we'd regularly go for. He's 32 years of age. He's physically starting to decline slightly. He's not got more than 3-star of ability. He's not going to impact the first team. But let's have a look at the wage here in terms of savings. He's on £900 a week on a 2-year deal only. No massive commitment. He's also scored goals galore in England for both Blackburn and West Brom. And he's got 88 caps for Wales. Now, this is what got me in. Marketing and commercial side. His movement's still excellent. He's got great composure. He anticipates things. He's good off the ball. And he can play in either of our forward roles, as well as a number 10 if we need him. So Jack Vale is someone who I've looked at and thought, not only is he going to bring something to us on the pitch as a good squad player, he's going to bring us an incredible amount of commercial value. We have to go for it. We've got to start thinking like a big club in that regard, and Jack Vale is the man I'm trusting to do that. 88 caps and 37 goals for Wales. You've got to put some respect on that name. He'll make his debut at some point in the next few weeks, but I'm looking forward to working with him, and I'm hoping it will lead to a few bigger things financially. The last one, though, we signed for a different reason. We talked a bit earlier about Sam Martin and him being in the squad last year, and that was because we didn't have 2 under-19s in the squad. Kyle Bulkley, still only 18. He'll qualify this year. But now, so will Lubomir Srom, a replacement for Daniel Anderson as 4th choice centre midfielder. He's 18 years of age, has 4 caps for the Czech Republic international side already. He's really solid. He's no weaker than him. Yes, he's got a couple of attributes that are standout poor. But generally speaking, he's solid across the board. He's definitely better technically, barring the pass. He's got great leadership, he's composed, he'll become homegrown at the club for Europe, and he's got the potential to develop a bit more. So for me, Lubomir Srom was a no-brainer. In compensation for the man out of contract, we paid £57,000. You consider we got $700 up front for Anderson, I don't think we can argue with it. It's a fabulous signing in my book, so I'm quite pleased with the ones that have come in. Add to that in the squad that Kai McDonald, Ruben Reyes and Ewan McKinnon are staying. The boys that went to the Gold Cup are just coming back now. They should be available next time around. And we've still got Peter Holding out on loan with Huddersfield for 1 more year. He is going to be able to come back and be a first team squad player. So I really think we're in good shape at the moment. We've got wonderful players. Yes, a few of them have thrown their toys out the pram. Kyle Bulkley, West Ham came in £6 million for him. We weren't persuaded, but he was slightly deterred that we rejected it. Look at his attributes. He's not far off becoming a proper wonder kid already. He's now natural in centre midfield as well, which means further down the line, we can start to think about playing him either side of the diamond and giving us a little bit more strength in there. With Ruben Reyes as an official wonder kid now, with Ewan McKinnon the same, and others scoring goals galore, I really think we're in the best position we've been in a long time. So let's go and get into the second leg of our Champions League qualifier. The first leg was a 1-0 win. A Ruben Reyes early strike not followed up. Bulkley missed a penalty. We had about 27 shots, I think, in the end and didn't manage to take any of them. And as a result, it remained only 1-0. The other sides in European football doing really well. We will take a quick look at the end of this episode at how the Welsh transfer window is panning out. But in terms of the Europa Conference, which West Ham won last year, TNS drew at home to Bulgarian side Bero. They've not got the greatest side, and on the road, with additions, I think TNS will do okay. Barrytown United were the most pleasant surprise. They won 3-1 away at Derry City, whose best player is very much good enough to start for us. Jim Gannon's a brilliant manager. They've got some cracking little players in their team. And I just feel that Barrytown United are going to be the ones this year. I mean, look at that striker. They must be better than what Barry have got. They're a really good team. So I'm delighted that they managed to get that win. Not such good luck in the draw for Colwyn Bay. They got Utrecht from the Dutch league and their key player is very good. However, they only lost 1-0 on the road and Colwyn Bay are a side that might yet be able to do it. So realistically, we're looking at two sides getting through, TNS and Barrytown United. But if Colwyn Bay can make it a hat-trick, then Welsh football's on the map. Let's go and get into our game because let's be honest, if we don't get our job done, this is all going to be irrelevant. It's the closest we've been in recent years in one of the early qualifiers. And we'd really like to avoid a slip-up here. We have got a slight strengthening of the team today. A few players returning from suspension in the shape of Kai McDonald at right back. That's a significant upgrade for us there. But also those coming back from the Gold Cup. Chris Broom should be coming back and into fitness now. You can see that at the bottom of the screen. Jerome Kelly not quite back yet, but 2 out of 3 not bad. So Bulkley will drop out just for this one, just because of his unhappiness and the like. On the bench, we're going to replace Throm with Bulkley. Gwyn Morgan is going to come in for Weaver, just because he can play either side. And I think this is going to be our lineup. It's George Wickens in goal. Probably the only man of the first 11 we're actively looking to replace now this summer. The fullbacks are Bektas and McDonald. Whittaker alongside Mackenzie at centre-half as Jerome Kelly still coming back from international duty. Lloyd, Reyes, Broom and Tom Jones, the midfield diamond reunited. And then McKinnon and Walters up front. We might play around with that during the season. But for now, it's our first 11 for today. 1-0 is the lead on aggregate. On the road, we have been threatening at times. Let's see if we can produce our best today and wrap our place in the third qualifying round. And with it, in the Europa Conference group stages at the very least. And here we go. The Greek side, almost all greyed out players, bar a couple of youth ones. We're going to say we want to be winning comfortably. We'll stick with positive to start with. We might drop to balanced if we have a dodgy start at all. But for now, I'm pretty confident going into this. The wider pitch doesn't really suit us, but they've decided to match us up with a diamond. And that might actually end up suiting us even better. So we're going to see what happens as Mackenzie clears the long goal kick away. Walters gets on the end of it due to the missed header. Into the box he goes. It's blocked out wide. Walters with a chance to cross again. There's still 3 in the middle. That's despite the fact the striker was forced wide. And Broom heads the ball over the bar. A good start for Bangor City. But again, story of wasted opportunities. And as long as that remains the case, our hosts only need one tonight. As with 18 minutes on the clock, it has calmed down a little bit here. McDonald throws in on the right to McKinnon. Long ball across field to Walters, who gets there by the left byline. Into the box, it's blocked. And they're bringing it away. But we're keeping the pressure on. We're pressing them high and they're not able to get out. As it's given away to Kai McDonald. Takes on the fullback. Gets into the box. Into Ewan McKinnon. Keeper does really well to stop it. 2 into the box to Broom. It's blocked away off the line. And Burlos heads away. It goes to the left-hand side to Ahmet Bektas. We might end up losing him this summer. He's unhappy that the initial bids were rejected. They were around 3 or 4 million. But they're now up to about 8. And his minimum fee release when he joined was 9.75. So we could yet end up losing him. I won't mind if he scores here though. He does just that. Ahmet Bektas gives us the away goal. And now our hosts need 3 to stop us getting through. There's no way I can see that happening. They've not even had 3 shots in the whole tie. And Ahmet Bektas, if it is to be a final parting gift, it's a pretty good one, isn't it? As McKinnon gives it to McDonald. Back to Harvey Lloyd in that holding role, but still very advanced at the moment. Reyes switches it to Bektas again. Into the box, towards the byline. The keeper does well to hold that. Makes it look easier than it probably was, because there were plenty of bodies swarming around if he dropped it. As Mackenzie goes wide to Ahmet Bektas. He's come into the game, becoming a star player here. Reyes doesn't get on the end of that Broom delivery, but it falls for Tom Jones. He's got 2 strikers up, instead goes wide to Bektas again. Chance to cross from the edge into Kane Walters. Glancing header towards the far stick. Just over the bar. The keeper had no chance if it was on target. But again, 12 shots, 6 on target. Only the one chance taken. As they've got it on the left-hand side. An advanced position probably for the first time in this match. The pass is astray though. It falls for Tom Jones. Chance to counter in style. It's a 3-on-3. Jones goes alone. The shot's down to the keeper's right. It's not the most powerful though. And it was fairly comfortable to save in the end. 5 minutes to the break. We're comfortable on aggregate. But we could really do with getting better in front of goal. At half-time though, let's be honest, there's only been one side in it. We're going to tell the lads we're pleased. We'll change the front two towards the end. But at the moment, I'm relatively happy because we're going to get through comfortably. It's a little bit harder coming in around later because we're playing a better side when we're getting our fitness back. Yes, it means we've been able to get a friendly or two in, but they don't replace the form you find for a Champions League match. As Bantouopoulos puts it up in the middle, goes wide to his left back. Of course, the other thing we've got to bear in mind with going out into the Champions League at the second qualifier is that we do lose that round of coefficient. We'd normally gain a point from 2 victories in the ties and from getting through the round. As McKinnon's through, lays it to Walters, has to score and does. Kane Walters with a lovely cold finish into the far corner. 2-0 on the night, 3-0 on aggregate. The half has started in the perfect possible way. It is fantastic. We're definitely through now. We can start to think about resting people soon. What a display it's been. As Mackenzie picks the ball up at the back. Plays a 1-2 with Harvey Lloyd. Goes wide to McDonald, the right back. Comes back in after his suspension. He got that second yellow in the last 16 last season. As McKinnon goes back to McDonald again. I'd really like to put 4 or 5 past them now. Start to go on a bit of a rampage. Bektas is over on the left. Instead, Broom's picked out from the short ball. Finds Bektas again. He goes back to Broom. Doesn't even look like he's been away here. It's fitted back in seamlessly. Finds its way through to Kane Walters. We're starting to turn on the style. 2 minutes gone in the second half. 2 goals already. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Right then, half an hour to go plus stoppage time. We're going to do the usual sub in attacking midfield. Tom Jones for Bulkley so they both get fitness. McKinnon's going to be replaced by Goulding, the younger of the 2 sub-strikers. Want to give him an opportunity to impress as well. I'm tempted to go for Harvey Lloyd to come off as the third person, just to try and avoid the situation where he gets a yellow card. But I'd rather bring on one of the youngsters like Pasiarek and Morgan, which I think means we've got to go for Whittaker instead. So Pasiarek's going to come on at centre-half. That'll be the final substitution. And with half an hour to go, we can just enjoy the occasion now. It's 4-0 on aggregate, and we've managed to avoid a problem here really impressively. As Kane Walters is closing down up front again. Volumis goes long downfield, tries to get it away from danger. Mackenzie's first to win it back though. Gives it to Broom, who's drifted wide. Bektas into Reyes. Bit of an overload down this left flank for Bangor, but it will allow the switch of play if we want to. Mackenzie goes down the line to Walters. Flicked on for Kyo Bulkley. Just too much on it. The keeper got there first, and it remains 3. 20 minutes to go. Long ball downfield by the host. Harvey Lloyd gets there first. Gives it to Kai McDonald. Got a man over on the right-hand side. Plays long down the line. Goulding will get there first, towards the byline. Really, he's the one we want in the box, but it falls for Reyes. Now McDonald in towards Bulkley, through to Walters. I mean, to be fair, I don't think Bulkley meant that assist. I think he was trying to shoot and just underhit it. Just got too thin a contact. But who's at the back post? A proper number 9, a proper poacher. And Kane Walters scores as he finds Broom again. Out to Ahmet Bektas on the left. Great delivery. Goulding's up. Just over the bar. This is a brilliant performance. 25 shots, 13 on target. The only difference to the first leg is that we've scored a few. And we have turned on the style. But 2 wins in the ties means that we're going to improve that coefficient. Now we need some of the other boys to help on Thursday night. Mackenzie gets the ball back to George Wickens in goal. Can play left if he wants to here. Ahmet Bektas released. Not the biggest full house in here, but certainly we'll be taking note of this Bangor City performance. Bektas goes back yet again. That's a terrible ball. Mackenzie can't get there. Binioris nicks it, the striker. Goes in and scores. Got to cut out those mistakes early on. If that had been a crucial time in the tie, we'd have been livid. But thankfully for us, it's already wrapped up. 1 shot though, 1 goal for our hosts. We've got to be wary against better opposition. As McDonald throws into Reyes. A quick note as well to say we have moved up in the coefficient, both as a club and as a nation. TNS went up about 12 places, we went up by 2. And as a nation, we went up to 17th above Kazakhstan as expected. But lots of work to do this year, as Bektas gets down the left to Walters. Ahmet Bektas again. He's got support with him. We wouldn't mind a fifth. Gets to the byline. Cuts it back to Brunt. There's 4 in the middle of the box. Walters is 1. Brilliant save by the keeper. Tips over the bar fantastically. And it's a corner kick to finish off. In the final minute of stoppage time, Bulkley will take it. Doesn't beat the first man. Headed as far as Pasiarek. Is someone going to shoot, or are we just playing out the seconds? Lloyd goes back to McDonald. I think this will be it. I can't see another shot on goal here. There's the game. There's the full-time whistle. 4-1 on the night. 5-1 on aggregate. Walters well amongst the goals again. And it's been the perfect Bangor City display. Let's go and see who we've got in the next round, because I think, on paper, it was going to be an easier tie. So as suspected, our opponents in the next round are a lower reputation side. And this is the best of the 2 sides we could have faced, the Slovakians. They beat a Moldovan side to get here. But they're pretty average, to be honest. If we look at their players' attributes, they're sort of what we were maybe 3 or 4 years into the save when we were first getting into Europe. They're certainly a team we should be beating, but I don't think it's going to be an absolute pasting. We'll wait and see if it is. We've been wrong before. In terms of the schedule, we're going to play through that. We'll get through Conwy in the League Cup. We're going to be back for the playoff round. But I did promise you a quick look at the Welsh transfer window, so let's go and do that before we finish. Barry Town United bringing players galore in. TNS starting to loan people out, which is fantastic. Colwyn Bay have got a feeder club relationship with Wrexham now. But David McFarlane has gone to them, who's a pretty decent young winger. They've also managed to bring in this guy, Aldrich Shibamba, who again has got electric pace, has a good passer of the ball, has got some really standout attributes. And then the most impressive one was Levi Potts, who is a proper good attacking midfielder. They had him about 4 years ago. He's now gone and played football in the National League regularly, and he's back now with Colwyn Bay. So they're going a bit further. Hopefully he'll help them against Utrecht, but good signings regardless. Of course, TNS have bought in Kean Burgess. They're in the market for a couple more now. Barry Town United getting good players on loan from us. Some free agent deals, the shapes of Gideon Garnett, who's an upgrade from what they had previously. And although TNS haven't signed a lot this window, some of the players they've gone for are like the next level. They're sort of our backup level players, like your Daniel Andersons and that. That's the sort of standard we were talking about. Noah Daly has left TNS and has now joined Barry Town United. So I think Barry are the ones to watch out for this year. We'll wait and see if that remains the case. We'll see how many get through in the Europa Conference. And we'll be back next time with our playoff round, where hopefully we'll be cheering on some other Welsh sides in the Europa Conference. We avoided a problem today. We've had a big summer in the transfer window. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the signings. And some of the sales and loan outs as well. I'm sure Lowe's will be the biggest surprise. But I think he's going to come back and play long term. It's just this season, Jack Vale was too good a commercial option to turn down. We can't turn down the option to have Welsh internationals here. If you did enjoy the episode though, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Hopefully you're looking forward to another big season. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. Turn that notification bell on to get alerts every time one releases. You can find some of the playlists up in the eye above. There's also a link to the new food channel, which we're trying to get off the ground with new series now. And also to Twitch, where we've got regular live streams for watch-alongs from football and from FM21 too. So please do come and get involved. It is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time to see if we can make the Champions League group stages again.